Hello, this video that I'm making today is a get well card. It's a very quick card with very few materials. I have a little bit of ribbon accent and a little button. This card will present a few more difficulties getting to the mail because of the button, but you can resolve that by putting a layer of mailing padding on the top of the card when you put it in the envelope, and then it won't smush through the card or anything. Excuse me, I'm getting over something. Let me show you the materials that I'm using today. I have a card base cut at 11.5 by 4 1/4, scored at 5.5. I have a kraft panel cut at 5 1/4 by 4. I have patterned cardstock cut at 4 inches by 3 3/4, and I have 3 squares each of cream paper. This is actually Stampin' Up! Winter Whisper White, I believe. And this is 1 1/4 inches square, and this is 1 3/4 inches square. Set that aside so I don't lose it. And this card, when I made it, I chose, let's see, what was that called? New Sprout and Summer Sky by Memento. Oops, upside down. But I think it's too light, so I'm swapping that out. So the inks that I'm going to be using, and we'll see together how that works, is Bamboo Leaves and Hero Art Shadow Ink Cornflower. Let me take a second to tell you about the shadow ink. The shadow ink, when you stamp a solid image, sometimes you get splotchiness. But the shadow ink starts off looking a little splotchy, but as the ink dries, it blends out and you get a more even tone to it. It's really a really good ink. Unfortunately, when you're using the shadow inks, I find when you use them on the photopolymer stamps, they stain. It doesn't hurt the stamps, but it stains. So that's something to be mindful of if you get the Hero Arts inks. I'm also using Versafine Onyx Black and Tangelo. I will be using some blue baker's twine. You can just get this at any craft store. And I'll be using glue dots to get the button to stick. And I have a little ribbon and a button. Make a little bit of room. I'm using stamp sets from Stampin' Up. I have taken my Stampin' Up stamps out of the clamshell containers and put it in a stamp bag. Let me grab that real quick and I can show you. 1 second. Oh, too heavy. This is a stamp bag. It holds a great many stamps. It is two-sided, as you can see, and I'm trying to do a new storage solution, which I got from Tiffany Spalding. She sells these on her website, and you take all the wooden stamps and you fit them into the trays. They come right out. You fit them into the trays, and then you're able to get rid of the containers that they come in, and it takes up a lot less space in general. But unfortunately, the side effect of that is I no longer have all the stamp sets together, so I'll just have to show you the stamps and tell you that the name of the stamp set that this comes from is Darling Dots. Same thing again, I have this, which is from the All I Have Seen stamp set, also Stampin' Up! And the final stamp set I'm using is the Sincere Salutations from Stampin' Up! And I have the, where is it gone to? The Get Well. Okay, let me clear this stuff out of the way and then I'll get started on the card. It's going to go really quick. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is stamp these squares. So let me just lay them out. And the bamboo leaves for the leaf. Yeah, that looks better. Tangelo for the little ladybug. Make sure I got good coverage. The problems with the solid stamps, you have to be mindful that sometimes you might not get a full coverage. So you want to check for that before you commit to your paper. Now this looks splotchy when it goes on, but it evens out as it dries. Pretty good. Yes, I am glad that I made the change on the darker ink. It definitely looks better. So with the Versafine, I'm going to stamp the Get Well. Okay. This is a super fast card. Taking my Tombow glue, and I'm going to glue the squares to the blue squares. Tombow glue allows you to take a little extra time because it doesn't set up right away, and you can arrange it to make sure you have it straight. Whereas if I use tape, once the two pieces connected, that is where it would be. It's rather difficult to move it. And I find the smaller pieces, they need a little bit of maneuvering to get it right. So it gives you just that little extra moment to get it. Like right now, I pushed it at the end, didn't I? There. Okay. Now I'm going to take this to that using my ATG gun. And now with my bone folder, closing the card base, press the seam, and I'm going to stamp the inside before I put that on. I tend to do that because if I make a mistake, as I mentioned quite a few times, all I have to do is just grab another card base and I am back in business. This sentiment says, "All I have seen teaches me to trust the Creator for all I have not seen." It's a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Okay, give that a second to dry. Okay. Now I'm going to put the ribbon on the front. I'm going to allow about that much. Grab my scissors. Try to not to use too much extra because I'm trying to be a little bit circumspect with the ribbon, but you just need enough to ensure that it sticks on the back long enough for you to put the card front in place. So just cover up the bottom of the paper where it's connected, tuck it back and turn it this way. It's easier for me to make sure I have it straight. And then tuck it. Okay. Back with Mr. ATG gun. You have to be careful when you run the gun over ribbon because you could accidentally pull it right back off. Put this on. Now for these, I'm going to use my giant foam tape wheel and pop those up a bit. Just need 3 squares. When I got this card together, it looked a little bit like a face, the way I had the two things together. That was inadvertent, but maybe I've seen too many cartoons. So I'm going to make sure that I have these lined up properly before I commit to pressing down the tape. So the first thing I'm going to do is take off the the holding paper, and then I'm going to put the squares generally where I want them to go. That's not the one I want, this one, before I press it down. Okay. This one's a little too high. A little over. No. This one says be happy. That'll do. Now the fun part. I have troubles with my nails. If you've been watching my videos, you've shared my pain with me, but let's see how we go. You take the baker's twine and feed it through the holes on the button. This button has 4 holes, but I'm only going to make a double bow. Okay, now I need to feed through. So since I'm only going to do through 2 holes, I'm going to do the opposite holes, not the side by side. Oh, got it first try. Go me. Button, who's got the button? All right, now trim the ends. Now for attaching the button, I find the best way is to use the glue dots, which, let's see, this is the 3/16. And they're little glue dots that come on a roll. You take the button and just pick up a couple of glue dots. For this size button, I think 3 ought to be enough. There we go. And just press it in place. Now this button's a little bigger, so I'm going to hand this card. I don't think it would mail unless I use the larger envelope for that. Something to be mindful when you're adding embellishments to the cards. You're also increasing your postage. But it's worth it. And that's the finished card. I hope you like it. I hope you try it. It's very simple. I had pre-punches for this, but you can cut this with your paper trimmer. You don't need to have a punch for these squares. It's just simple cutting. You can do this with any small images that you had. You can change it up however you want. You can add more squares. You could have perhaps 4 instead of the 3 that I had. Any color ribbon, very simple. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. I try to put out content pretty frequently. I appreciate everyone's comments, and thank you for watching, and have a good day.